Welcome to Reach Out. My name is Shashea LaFontaine. Tonight I'm with Bob Horta from the Bristol County Sheriff's Department. He is the Director of the Training Division, and he's here with us tonight. Hi Bob, how are you?
Hi Shashea, thank you very much for having me. We're doing well.
Thank you. How long have you worked at the Sheriff's Office?
I have been with the Sheriff's Office for 23 years now.
And what do you do there?
I oversee the Training and Recruitment Division there.
And you've been there 23 years.
23 years, I'll tell you, it's gone by very quickly. It's gone by very quickly. But
that's a good thing.
It's a great career, and I enjoy working there, and I enjoy the people that I'm with. So it's every day's a different day and something to look forward to. And
you couldn't ask for anything more than that.
No, we can't.
Than loving to be with the people that you work with.
Exactly, exactly.
I heard so many wonderful things about you. Wonderful things about you. And one of the things that I heard was that you're very involved with the American Cancer Society.
Yes, yes.
Now, what do you do with the American Cancer Society?
Well, I'm happy to talk to you about that. That's a cause that I hold dear to my heart. I am a volunteer with the American Cancer Society, and I began, if I could start from the beginning.
Absolutely.
14 years ago, my younger sister Tammy was diagnosed with cancer, and it was very difficult on my family to deal with that. So the doctors were doing everything they could in order to try to help her, and we kind of felt helpless. We didn't know what to do. So a friend of mine who happened to be running the local Relay for Life, which I can get into after, which is a large fundraiser for the American Cancer Society, asked me to go there and sing at the end of their during their closing ceremonies. And I was so moved by what I saw, the amount of cancer survivors that we had in our area and the families that have been affected by cancer, that I had no idea that a year later that it was going to affect my family. So I felt that it was important for us to do our part, because I felt helpless at that time when my sister was diagnosed. So I said, well, let's put together a team of people, we'll raise money, and the Relay for Life is a 24-hour walkathon. We walk a track for 24 hours.
Oh, wow.
And people sponsor us to walk during that time, and all the funds, again, that we raise will go towards cancer research, cancer awareness, and programming. So I felt that that was our way to give back, to do something, because I believe that it's not just the doctors that are going to find it. It's going to be our hard work that's going to help them find it.
Absolutely.
So unfortunately, my sister grew too tired to fight anymore, and I refused to say that cancer took her life. She just became too tired to fight anymore.
Okay.
So it's been difficult, and I've had the opportunity to work in different ways with the American Cancer Society. I started off with that event, and then I ended up running the entire Relay for Life in New Bedford for a couple of years.
Oh, wow.
And it's a great fundraiser. It's a great time, and it's a way, for the way that we say it, we get together to celebrate the lives who have been affected by it and are still here with us, who fought cancer and have won, or who are currently battling cancer, and we want to show them our support. And the second thing we do is we remember all those who have really fought cancer and are no longer with us, and we want them to know that they're not forgotten, and that their fight was something that we look at as hope for the future.
Absolutely.
And then we get together to fight back, because I'm sure you may have seen some of the commercials on TV about fighting back. We can't just sit still. We can't just say it's somebody else's problem. We have to do our part in fighting back and eradicating cancer from our world. So I really believe in our lifetime we'll see that.
Now,
really
is there any way that they could find out how they could get involved, the viewers?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. There are two ways. The American Cancer Society has a website called cancer.org. That was very helpful, because On that website, not only can you find out information for Relay for Life, but you can also find out information if you are diagnosed with cancer, or if you are a caregiver, if you have someone that you are caring for with cancer. It'll talk to you about the support groups that are available, the services that are available in your local area. Also, there's a website called relayforlife.org, which will give you all the dates and locations of your local relays. And just in Rhode Island and Massachusetts alone, there are at least over 40 Relay for Life events that will be starting in May and right through the end of June.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's a great thing. But as we were talking before, with my sister's diagnosis and her passing, we didn't know that that pain would continue, because a few months later I was diagnosed with cancer. And I am you're looking at a 3-time cancer survivor.
Oh, God is amazing.
He is amazing. I will tell you that, and I have an angel up in heaven watching over me, because I wasn't so much worried about myself, Shishay. I was worried about my parents. Because I had seen them lose a daughter, I didn't want to see them lose a son on top of that. And when I was first diagnosed, I took it hard, but I was hopeful, and the doctors were hopeful, and they were able to help me get through it, and I was cancer-free for a little while. Then months later, I was diagnosed with kidney cancer, and so...
What were you thinking, Bob? The first time, and then the second time? I kept thinking,
I think what other people who are diagnosed with cancer is, why me? Why? What was it that I did wrong, or what was it that I did that I didn't do to prevent it? And my sister's passing was still fresh in my life. She passed away in August of 2009, and I was diagnosed in February of 2010. So
there was no time.
There was not enough time. So they were able to help me get through the kidney cancer, and then last year, I apologize, the year before last, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. So it's been a 3-time battle, and but.
So was it right as you were doing well, you were diagnosed?
I was diagnosed with another one, yes. Yes. And the weird part, Shishay, is that all of these things happened in a way that they wouldn't normally happen. And what I mean by that is, I went to my doctor, and he said, you know what, we should have you checked, because your sister, with your sister's history and what happened with her, we need to keep a closer eye on you. And the first test they did was colon test, and they found cancer.
So you weren't going to go yourself?
I wasn't going to go, no, because what they're suggesting is that the first time that you should get tested is when you turn 50.
Oh.
So this was 3 years ago. I'm 48, so I was 45.
So you look amazing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I shouldn't have been tested for another 5 years.
Now, who suggested that to you?
The doctor.
The doctor, okay.
So at that point, I looked up and I said, my sister is still helping me from where she's at now.
That's right, yes.
And then they said, well, let's do another, we want to do a test to make sure that we got all the cancer the first time.
Right.
And when they did that second test, they said, you're not going to believe this, but we found cancer in another area. And so
it was cleared.
And the colon cancer was cleared. Thank God. And then the second one came, and I'm like, okay. It came to the point where I was afraid to go to the doctors.
Yeah.
Because you were afraid to
what's next?
What's next? What's next?
What's next?
And then I went to the doctors, and he said, you know what, I just need to do some blood work. Just after that was cleared, I just need to do some blood work. Well, the strangest thing happened was that a test was performed that they didn't check off. And it happened to be the PSA for the prostate cancer.
So you wouldn't have known?
I wouldn't have known.
So it was accidental?
It was accidental.
Well, we know it wasn't accidental.
We know it wasn't. We know it wasn't.
Right.
But it definitely was an act from God and my sister, and I really believe that. But And then just recently, when I went to the doctors, they found 2 lumps on my left breast. And I panicked because I said, here we go again. It's starting all over again. But by the grace of God, everything tested negative, so there's no cancer. It just happened to be just fatty tumor, so
thank God.
Thank God. So, but I tell you, Shay, I was never so afraid.
Of course.
I was diagnosed 3 times, but when I went for that test,
of course,
I was never so afraid as I was that day. And all I kept thinking was, as I was sitting in that waiting room going for a mammogram, which I didn't realize men could go for.
Right. Do you know I didn't either until you had just said it, yeah.
Men can get breast cancer. Many, many, many have. And I sat there and something came over me that was like, I feel for every man or woman that has to sit there and await a diagnosis. Because what I went through, I can't even begin to imagine what a woman would go through with children and a family and how she has to face it and so on. So I was very lucky, but my thoughts and prayers were with everyone who would have to go through that.
Another thing that you said that was just like strange but amazing was you said a year prior to that, you went to an event.
Yes, yes. Going back to the relay, you never know how that impacts you until you go to a Relay for Life event.
What is involved in a Relay for Life event?
Well, it's all run by a local committee.
Okay.
To the area. Okay, so and they would get together and they'll start to design exactly how their relay is going to run, where they're going to hold it. And it's all run by teams. People will start registering teams.
Okay.
I believe the minimum number is a team of 8.
All right.
And the team that I belong to the Relay for Life of Greater New Bedford. And the one in Greater New Bedford, just to give them a plug, they've always come up as top 10 fundraisers in Massachusetts.
Oh, that's awesome. So there's a
lot, because I believe last year's relay alone in New Bedford raised nearly $400,000.
Oh, that is amazing.
So that is, and in this difficult economic time, that is an amazing thing.
Absolutely.
So, and then the committee just gets together and they try to get people involved. So I'm part of a team called Pharmacy Flamingos.
Okay.
Each team has a different theme.
Right.
So when I started with my family and friends, ours were called Mardi Gras Magic, and it was unmasking a cure for cancer.
Oh, that's
so
wonderful.
now my friend my friend Maria started a team called Pharmacy Flamingos from South Coast Hospital, and I joined her team.
So it's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. You have a great time. It's all campsites that they set up along the tracks.
Everybody bonds.
Everybody bonds. Everybody gets together. We spend the evening, the whole night together till the next morning, and everybody's walking the tracks constantly. And it starts off with the survivor. The opening ceremony are all the survivors take the first lap, which is very emotional to see how many people have fought cancer and won.
And there's a lot of people.
And there's a lot of people. There are quite a few people. And then it goes on to the evening part where we have, which is an extremely moving ceremony, which is called the Luminaria ceremony. And you have to picture the track on both sides are lined with luminaria bags that have the names of someone who was too tired to fight anymore, because I won't say lost their battle.
Yeah.
They were too tired to fight anymore, or someone